Guys, the WNBA have been talking about their most viral moments of the year. Obviously, number 5 most viral moment was I don't remember this happening. The number 6 most viral moment was I don't remember. Sorry, Jesus, I don't remember this happening.
That single reaction says everything about the real issue. A content creator who covers the WNBA full-time looks at the league's own most viral moments list and keeps saying, I don't remember this. Not once, not twice, over and over throughout the entire countdown. That should stop people in their tracks. If someone whose job is to follow the league daily is confused by half the moments being labeled as viral, what does that tell you? It means many of these moments never truly broke through in any real cultural way. The league says they were huge, but the audience clearly didn't feel it, remember it, or experience it as such.
Some of these moments, let's see what some of these are like. Number 9 was Candace Parker with Usher. Don't remember this happening. Number 10 was Stud Buds. To be fair, the Stud Buds at All-Star Weekend is absolutely belongs high. But I'm actually shocked that, first of all, this was higher. This was more important, but the WNBA actually posted.
Now we're getting to the real core of the issue. Yes, All-Star Weekend deserves a high spot on the list, no debate there. But the priorities become crystal clear when you look at how the rest is ranked. A Candace Parker and Usher photo op comes in at number 9, a celebrity picture. That's considered more viral than actual basketball. Meanwhile, the Mercury versus Fever game, where Caitlin Clark, on one injured leg, thoroughly outplayed Paige Bueckers, lands at number 7. That was the game that settled the biggest debate in women's basketball last season. Fans were locked in, the conversation exploded, and it had real on-court consequences. Yet it still trails a celebrity photo. That contrast tells you exactly how the WNBA defines value, and it's not always about the moments fans actually care about.
Caitlin was on one leg and she was taking the piss. She stole the ball 4 times off Paige. She blocked JJ Quinterly, screamed in her face, grabbed the ball and just looked up and launched a full court pass inch perfect to Sophie Cunningham. In fairness, Paige Bueckers caught her in the air and she went down, looking like she'd hurt herself on that one. Caitlin's stats wise, she had 13 assists in like 20 something minutes. She played 10 minutes less than Paige, so 13 assists. Paige Bueckers was the absolute, she was, as we call her at times last season, she was the garbage time demon. She was the demon of garbage time last year.
Look at the stat line and really let it register. 13 assists in about 20 minutes, 4 steals, several of them taken directly off Paige Bueckers. A chase-down block on Juju Watkins where Caitlin Clark yelled in her face, secured the ball, and instantly fired a full-court pass to Sophie Cunningham. And she did all of this while essentially playing on one functional leg. This wasn't just a regular season win, it was a statement performance that shut down a months-long debate in real time. For most of the meaningful competitive minutes, Paige Bueckers was systematically neutralized. By the time the game slipped into garbage time and Paige began putting points on the board, Clark was already done for the night, having finished with more points, more rebounds, more assists, more steals, a block, and fewer turnovers. That context matters. And here's what makes the WNBA's social media push so revealing. All season, the league worked to frame Paige as the future face, the algorithm favorite, the torchbearer. Then they turn around and promote highlights from the very game where that narrative completely unraveled.
It was what I would say was, anyone points to anything, you look at that game, you're like, even the fucking UConn game. Fun fact. This is not a fun fact because it's not a fact. I'm pretty sure UConn were 3-0 against Iowa and Caitlin Clark until that game. I'm pretty sure. Paige Bueckers is 0-4. I'm pretty sure Iowa beat UConn once when they were in college together. And one of them, Paige, didn't even play. It was an easy foot.
The UConn versus Iowa history adds an important layer of context that can't be ignored. UConn went 3-0 against Iowa and Caitlin Clark right up until that final college showdown, the one that flipped the narrative. But Paige Bueckers' personal record against Clark tells a different story. She went 0-4, and in one of Iowa's wins, Paige didn't even suit up. That game turned into an Aaliyah Edwards masterclass instead. So this isn't about a single bad night or an unlucky matchup. It's a trend that carried over from college straight into the professional level. The games have consistently told the same story. And yet, the WNBA keeps trying to manufacture a Clark versus Paige rivalry as if the results are even, as if the on-court evidence hasn't repeatedly pointed in one direction. The Angel Reese comparison makes this even clearer, because that's where a real debate actually exists. As a rookie, Angel Reese quite literally dragged the Chicago Sky to wins they had no business getting. Think about the Vegas game, where she sealed it with back-to-back putbacks. Or the New York Liberty game, where her effort and physicality completely shifted the outcome. Angel had multiple nights where she was undeniably the reason her team won. Paige Bueckers, on the other hand, has had games where she almost carried her team there. Almost matters. There's a real difference between keeping games close and being the deciding factor. Angel crossed that line repeatedly as a rookie. Paige still hasn't.
What? If you were talking about this game, I just remember like how the game was summarized in one photo. Yeah. How the game summarized in one photo. That was basically it. The rivalry the league wants. They have grown, bless their hearts. Aaliyah Boston, 80 foot, 4 steals, and 13 assists on one leg. Like, she stripped Paige 4 times. And that was the funniest thing, is everyone's talking about turnovers. I'm like, well, Paige had more turnovers than Caitlin in that game. Because Paige actually played point guard in that game. The game the Wings beat the Fever, if I'm not mistaken.
Caitlin Clark was operating on cruise control, barely looking for her own shot. Instead, calmly dismantling Paige on the defensive end and setting up teammates at will. And you could see it on Paige's face, too, that look that says she knew exactly what just happened. The Wings game made things even clearer. Paige actually ran point guard in that matchup, and it exposed something important. She finished with more turnovers than Caitlin. Some tried to spin it as Paige finally embracing a true playmaking role, but context matters. Caitlin was playing on one functional leg, wasn't hunting shots, and still racked up 13 assists while picking Paige's pocket 4 separate times. Even with all that, the Wings nearly managed to blow a massive 70-point lead late, which was wild for entirely different reasons. But the head-to-head comparison, that part wasn't close at all.
One thing I like is that you're starting to see Paige become Paige again, by the way. Like, if you saw this, for lack of a better word, like the swag and freedom that Paige played with in high school, and then that was kind of gone out of her at UConn. And like, I think we're seeing a little bit more Paige. We're seeing a little bit more her being Paige. And if Paige is Paige, and Paige fixes the mentality issues that she's had over the last 2 years, I don't mean these in mentality issues. Mentality issues is in like the mentality of, oh, well, I'm just going to, I just want to fit in, and not, I'm the fucking team. Like, you fit in off the floor, but on the floor, I'm this fucking team.
Here's the part that's actually worth paying attention to. You're starting to see flashes of the real Paige again. The version from high school, before UConn's system slowly coached that swagger out of her. Back then, the mindset was simple. I'm the engine. Give me the ball and I'll make life easier for everyone. Somewhere along the way, that shifted into trying to blend in, defer, and be the perfect teammate. Even when that meant passing up open looks to feed shooters hitting 18% from 3. That was the core frustration last season. Watching Paige swing the ball to Grace Bergerer while defenses ignored her completely felt familiar in the worst way. The same frustration fans had the few times Caitlin passed up shots to kick it out to Christy Wallace or Lexi Hull instead of just pulling the trigger herself. The difference is mentality. If Paige fully embraces being the alpha instead of trying to fit a role, she absolutely has the talent to beat Caitlin on certain nights. We've already seen others do it. Angel Reese has gotten the better of Caitlin. Ryan Howard has done it. Even Kelsey Mitchell has had games where she outplayed her. That's basketball. Matchups and moments matter. But right now, after this game, the debate should have been over. It should have been settled. The problem is the WNBA refuses to let it end.
going to post highlights, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. There's going to be a lot more matchups. And by the way, Paige is going to get the better of Caitlin Clark plenty of times. Plenty of times in her career. Like, heck, Angel got the better of Caitlin Clark once. Ryan Howard's gotten better of Caitlin Clark. Heck, fucking Kate Martin's gotten the better of Caitlin Clark a couple of times. And it's not even funny. I don't actually know if Caitlin Clark has ever actually gotten the better of Kate Martin as a pro. So it's going to happen. But I'm still shocked. I'm actually considering what the WNBA have been doing, considering their mentality towards Caitlin Clark as a league, and them really wanting to push Paige Bueckers in the face, even though Paige Bueckers, nobody...
This exposes the league's biggest contradiction. Paige Bueckers has an enormous social media following. TikTok edits, fan accounts, and viral clips make her look like a cultural giant, especially among younger fans who feel personally connected to her and players like Azzi Fudd. Online, the hype is constant, but when you step away from the apps and look at real basketball engagement, the numbers don't match. Ratings don't spike when she plays. Arenas aren't suddenly packed. The buzz stays digital. That's the problem. Social media attention isn't the same as people actually watching games, buying tickets, or driving league growth. It's visibility without conversion. Meanwhile, the WNBA keeps pushing Paige as the face of the league, even though head-to-head matchups, on-court results, and audience data don't support that narrative. Instead of letting performance and demand lead the story, the league is trying to manufacture one based on followers and edits. And no matter how loud the online hype gets, basketball reality keeps telling a different story.
Is that, in fairness to Paige Bueckers has an unbelievable social media following. She actually does. She's an unbelievable social media following. The TikTok people love making their edits of Paige Bueckers because they have these weird parasocial relationships with her and Azzi Fudd. They're like K-pop stans.
Here's what that viral moments list really exposes, and it's not flattering. The WNBA is still deeply confused about the difference between real engagement and surface-level social media noise. They're ranking celebrity photo ops and marketing-friendly visuals above actual basketball moments that millions of fans genuinely watched, debated, and remembered. Instead of elevating games with real stakes and organic storylines, they're trying to manufacture virality by force, hoping attention can be willed into existence. When a content creator who professionally covers the league sits through the official viral countdown and repeatedly says, "I don't remember this happening," that's not a personal failure. That's a clear signal the league misread its own audience. If even insiders don't recognize half the moments being promoted, then those moments never truly landed. Virality isn't declared. It's earned through shared memory, discussion, and emotional impact. The Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers matchup tells the entire story. Two generational college stars, both top rookies, meeting for the first time as professionals, with real expectations and pressure. Caitlin, playing on one leg, still controlled the game statistically and visually. That was appointment viewing. Fans tuned in, debated it, clipped it, and are still talking about it months later. Yet it's ranked below a celebrity photo, below moments that vanished the moment they were posted. That ranking reveals how disconnected the league's priorities are. Look at what actually drove conversation last season. Caitlin's logo threes that broke defensive schemes. Angel Reese's double-double streak that turned into a nightly storyline. The raw playoff intensity between New York and Minnesota. DeWanna Bonner and Dejounte Carrington's defining moments. Carrington's shot that eliminated Connecticut wasn't just a highlight. It was a moment with consequence. These events had context, pressure, and meaning. Fans didn't need a list to remember them because they already lived in the discourse. A photo with a celebrity like Usher may generate likes, but it's fleeting. It doesn't change how people see the league, and it doesn't deepen fandom. It's a marketing beat, not a cultural moment. Meanwhile, a game where Caitlin stripped Paige multiple times, created offense, and dictated pace while injured still sparks arguments, breakdowns, and replays. That's what real virality looks like. It lingers. The WNBA's core issue isn't a lack of talent or star power. Paige Bueckers will absolutely have her moments. She's too skilled not to. but forcing her into a role she hasn't yet earned at the professional level, while downplaying players who are currently delivering bigger performances, only weakens credibility. Fans can sense when a narrative is being pushed instead of proven. This desperation shows in lists where half the moments weren't actually viral, where celebrity proximity outranks basketball drama, and where even the league's own creators seem confused. The WNBA doesn't need more manufactured storylines or celebrity cameos. It needs to recognize, respect, and amplify the moments that fans already care about. The moments people remember without prompting, the moments that fuel real conversation instead of temporary metrics. Until that shift happens, we'll keep seeing rankings that prioritize what the league wishes was viral over what actually was, and we'll keep hearing the same reaction, confusion, disbelief, and the simple truth: I don't remember this happening. That reaction is the real story.